This is it. Never, ever, ever again. It's a resounding no.
So I just watched SCOOB and it was pretty underwhelming. I had already very little expectations to begin with, but somehow I was still left disappointed. The movie was already doomed from the beginning, when it was announced that the old cast was being replaced. Heck, they even mentioned a piece of Matthew Lillard. This really hurt the movie, as the quality of the voice acting is significantly lower than the past movies. And I really don't blame the actors either. Voice acting is not for everyone. Everyone in the Mystery Inc., especially Velma, just sounded really old. Shaggy sounds awful. Like I'm sure Will Forte did his best, but it dulls in comparison to the fun and jovial energy Matthew Lillard brings. Fred and Daphne were alright. The best was obviously Scooby, because Frank Welker actually returned to voice him. Even the animation seems lackluster. Sure, younger versions look cute, but overall, it just felt flat. It reminded me too much of Illumination Studios, and not proper Warner Brothers stuff. Speaking of Illumination Studios, Rottens reminded me a lot of Minions. Let's hope they stay as side characters, and hopefully no spin-off movies comes from them. The story disappointed me the most. I could have overlooked the voices and the shoddy animation, but if the story is bad, then the whole movie falls apart. Scooby-Doo at its core has always been about mysteries. I mean, they are literally called the Mystery Inc. Yes, some iterations have had more action, but it was always a mystery at heart. This movie doesn't have that. It's more like a Hanna-Barbera crossover Avengers movie. And while I did enjoy the characters, they didn't really fit in. This was supposed to be a new origin story for them, for the newer generation to get into Scooby-Doo, and they really messed it up. This should have been a simple mystery movie, with the meddling kids and their stupid dog running around catching petty criminals. The movie shoved all their adventures into just a montage, thus losing the chance to have proper character developments for the characters.
Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver, but you're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know we...
It did try to ham-fist some references, like Fred putting on his ascot, but that was more for a gag moment, which added nothing of significance to the movie.
For the Mystery Machine!
Similarly, the unmasking scene made no sense, as we already know who the villain is. They try to subvert it, but it ends up being even more cringy.
Is it?
Simon Cowell?
Thank you. I also played Rum Tum Tugger in my secondary school's production of Cats.
This makes no sense. How could he have time to judge the world's greatest talent shows and build a giant airship?
Dick Dastardly? Drat! No one ever goes for the double unmasking.
Speaking of being cringy, this whole movie felt like a cringe fest, with all the references and the meta stuff. It's 2020. Simon Cowell hasn't been relevant for the last decade, so I don't get why he was in the movie. He was there just to drive up the conflict, which felt so stupid and badly written. It's like they couldn't think of an actual proper way to introduce any conflict, and so just had Simon Cowell being bitchy. Velma as Judge Judy was also weird. Velma has always been a woman of technology and science, so it would make more sense for her to go as someone like, I don't know, Marie Curie? Fred being a himbo got boring in the first 10 seconds. Most of the pop culture references are just references. They serve just as a bazinga moment. Okay, let me backtrack a bit and actually try and be nice for a minute here. It was not all bad. The movie had some really fun stuff. The montages over the classic Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Where Are You? Theme was a fun throwback. Tiny Scooby and Shaggy were adorable. The scene where Scooby first got his collar really made me emotional.
I love it. I promise I'll never take it off.
In conclusion, the only thing left to say is, Scooby is like the Despicable Me of Warner Brothers animation. Cute, superficial, with a bare enough story to appeal to both the kids and as nostalgia bait for the older generation. I don't want to sound too cynical, but that's how these type of movies make me feel. Movies like Minions, The Lorax, and now SCOOB are just movies which are inoffensive enough to be successful. Most stuff are just nostalgia bait and lack proper substance. These are the type of movies which perpetuate the whole animated movies are just for kids stereotype. I just wish they release a proper Scooby-Doo movie. They have more than enough material for it. It's been years since we have gotten an actual good Scooby-Doo movie released worldwide. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, do check out my other videos. Constant bitching is my brand, and if you like shitting on terrible movies and shows, then my videos are for you. You can find me on